This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. So, Malcator is really good, and I do like the blue-white deck a fair bit. I think it's, in the top half of archetypes in the format. Really might even be in the top tier. Thank you for the resub, Leningrad, and the gift sub. Then we have Ruthless Predation, which is like, a great green card. Cultivator is a nice one-drop in the format. So is Exuberant Fusling. I do love Scheming Aspirant. Like, if you're going to make a blue-black deck, you basically need them. But I don't like taking them and hoping that the Proliferate deck is open. Though it often is, but it's not always. So it's basically, like, Malcator is definitely the strongest card, and I'm trying to decide whether or not it's worth taking over a good removal spell, because overall the pack's not amazing, and I think it probably is. I mean, Ruthless Predation's good, but it's not Hex Gold Slash or anything, Okay. So we've got a Myria Shepherd here, which is quite good in general. Also, combos a little with Malcator because it makes 2/1/1s. That are artifacts, so you can sort of make the Malcator trigger happen. We've also got... I like Mere Convert a reasonable amount. I think more than most people, based on what I've seen. But I'm leaning Shepherd. I do like Skitterling, but you need the exact right deck for it to work, which is generally black-white. So yeah, I think we'll go Shepherd in the end here. Horrible rare, even if it is a blue artifact. It just doesn't do anything in limited. So I do like Charge of the Mites a fair bit. It's a removal spell. Does make a couple of artifacts if we're interested in those. And right now, we're sort of leaning in that direction. And it's probably what we take. I do think Ataxian Raptor is pretty good. It just, doesn't really have any synergy whatsoever with what we're doing. It's just a good card to have. And that matters, but I'd rather have a removal spell / thing that makes me 2 artifacts than a good 3-mana flyer with variable stats. Charforger's good. We had that deck where I drafted 4, and then we proceeded to not do very well, which was really sad, but that's not really the norm. So I think we're looking at Complete Devotion. If we're in blue-white, we are likely to have infect or toxic creatures. I guess we already do with Charge of the Mites and the Shepherd. And it's a great trick, and you do generally want tricks in this format. Indoctrination Attendant is also pretty good. Does stuff with Malcator that's pretty funny. Bounce it to our hand, replay Malcator. Yeah, let's just go for it. We do need some low drops. Okay, so this is interesting. I was talking about how good the Proliferate deck is if it's open, and there is a Voidwing hybrid here. We already saw the 1/3 Proliferate. And it is a little tempting to take it and try to see what's going on, but if I was going to do that, I probably should have been taking blue or black cards, and we don't have any of those, so I probably shouldn't do it. As much as I like that deck, I don't think I've streamed that deck at all yet, where I had one, I've had it a couple times, where I had a couple hybrids and a couple of the 1/3 life drain things, and it's pretty legit. So what we're giving up here is a Complete Devotion, basically. And I think we probably take it. I think it's good enough that we probably want to take it, so we will. So it does actually look like red-green is somewhat open. It's often not anymore because everyone knows how good it is. Oil Gorger Troll, though, is a decent sign that it might be. I think we probably just take another Shepherd, though. It's not that hard for us to pivot into, like, a infect, a red-white or green-white deck at this point. We don't really have any cards that are, like, only good in this deck, so... yeah. So, and that's useful, being able to pivot. So, yeah. Okay, so... we do have a Chrome Prowler, which is not bad with a bunch of artifact payoffs. There's also a Batterfist, which is a great 2-drop. So we're basically... I do think Batterfist is significantly better than Chrome Prowler. So it's sort of a choice of whether we're going to try to stay in blue-white or just sort of jump into red-white because the Batter Fist is better. I think we'll take the Prowler and see what happens. I mean, it's not like Batter Fist is, like, way better. It's just, you know, better. Yeah, not really anything I want here. I guess I'm going to take the Strider. I haven't been impressed with it really at all. So, you know, but I'll take it, sure. Let's take a blue card. So it doesn't look like that 1/3 wheeled. If that thing that drains life also wheeled, it would have been annoying, so. We do really need some low drops. Yeah, and this is a reasonable one for the deck. It's not amazing, but it's fine. Sinew Dancer, you know, it's one of these cards. There's a lot of them in this format. A lot of commons in this format that are, like, basically only good in one deck. And this one would be okay in our deck because we do, in fact, have some Infect or Toxic or whatever going on. But it's still not going to consistently enough do its thing. And I'd rather take a card that is an artifact that also is an artifact payoff. Even if it's, you know, a subpar one. Yeah, Choruses would be great. Another Experiment, that seems fine to me. I don't hate spell bombs, especially on-color ones, but, you know, depending on what's going on, even off-color ones are sort of acceptable. Probably not playing this, but other than that, I think this pack went pretty well. We still can pivot. I mean, this is just regular one. I don't believe in the alchemy formats. I mean, I do, to some extent. All right, we'll take, there is a Skull Bomb, but I think we can probably get more value out of Terramorphic Expanse. I haven't been impressed with basically any of the alchemy formats once they, like, added in the alchemy cards. Generally, it just made the format worse. So I'm not really looking to switch to that format for the most part. Okay. I mean, I feel like it's... Well, I guess we could pivot into black-white, too. And if that's the case, I think we like the Scourge the most. All right. Enforcer's not terrible, but, like, we'll probably have... I mean, we already do have better high drops than it, but, you know, we'll cut white. Plus, when it comes to making content and stuff, if something just has alchemy in the title, people are less likely to click on it. As intense as that is, but it's true. All right, we probably take Ossification. It's great removal. You know, the Seed Core is interesting. It taps for mana for almost every creature in the set of any color. And it has an effect that actually comes up sometimes. But, you know, I'm not going to take it over Ossification. This is a pretty strong pack in general. The Edifice, the Reservoir, the Vorak are all really good cards. But I think Ossification might just be the best of them anyway. Okay. Nothing great here. Another Escaped Experiment, but I think if we want those, they're going to wheel, as we've already seen. The Bardiche is okay. I mean, Viral Spawning is definitely the best card in the pack. And I guess it's still not out of the question that we pivot. So, I think we'll probably take the Spawning. You know, we do already have, like, one black card in case we pivot, but, you know, Viral Spawning is better than all the black cards in this pack, so that's where we'll go. All right, really cheap artifact. This is played pretty well. I do like Malcator's Watcher a decent amount. Incisor Glider often works in this deck, though not as well as in black-white. I think we probably take the Lookout. You know, low drops are important, and this one blocks a bunch of them, in addition to also attacking. So, here's a Crawling Chorus. Interestingly, there is a Bladehold War Whip if we wanted to consider a pivot into a red-white deck, which I don't think is the worst plan, and I think War Whip is probably strong enough. And we have Terramorphic Expanse. It wouldn't take that much more fixing for us to want to play the Whip. So, Yeah. So Chorus versus Whip. I think we take the Whip. It's just too strong. Maybe we'll just get past several more or something, you know. Doesn't look like it, though. Decent red cards here, though. Probably going to take them. There's a Raptor, actually. I'm willing to take one now. I mean, I didn't really want to take one early, but I think Raptor's good enough to take over the red cards here. Okay, there's another Escape Experiment. Here's another Expanse. There's also a Justisher, though, and that is, like, the key common. This thing is often what makes or breaks these blue-white decks. So I think we probably just grab it, yeah. I would like basically all the blue cards in this pack, or the Expanse, but the Justisher is very nice. Well, I guess green-white's pretty open. I mean, this isn't an amazing card, but, you know, it's got great stats, and we do have a viral spawning, so this is another pick where we could consider taking something different. You know, something off-color. I think we might just want another Attendant, though. Yeah, I think we probably do. I think they're better than Enforcers, especially when you have Malcator and Ossification and Mandible Justisher. Just returning an artifact and playing it again can give you some value, especially because you got another 1/1. So, yeah. White's open. The other colors aren't as clear. Guess we're going to take another Complete Devotion. I don't really want anything else in this pack. You know, these are decent black cards, but there's a good white card, so maybe we'll just open up the 4 white mana rare and just turn into an almost mono white deck where we probably splash, like, Malcator and the War Whip and run, like, 12 planes. That'd be fun. Okay, so Aspirant is quite good when you are, if we are to end up in an equipment deck, which I still think is within the realm of possibility. Zealot's Conviction's okay, but not amazing in blue-white, if that's where we're headed. You know, you need to be green-white. So, yeah, I guess we're going to take one now, though. We're not good enough at poisoning people to love Zealot's Conviction. Thank you for the sub, Dilly Nelson. We've got a good problem, I think, overall, because we have a bunch of good white cards that are going to make a good foundation for basically anything, and then some other good cards around. All right, I think we'll take Incisor Glider here. You know, the Atlas does fix, but it's pretty bad at it. I think I'd rather just take a good red card in case we go that direction. Yeah, we have as many escape experiments as we want. Okay, well, we didn't get the 4 white mana thing, but we did get White Sun's Twilight, which is an amazing bomb. So the downside is, of course, you have to pay 7 mana for it to be a bomb. It's not really one until then. And that is a late game thing, but it's amazing either way. So we're definitely taking it. Sure, we'd love Jawbone Duelist. I wouldn't hate Transplant Theorist or Chrome Prowler Wheeling or even Prosthetic Injector, but we're definitely in on White Sun's Twilight. Interesting. So now we have Drivnod, Carnage Dominus. He's good. He's not incredible, but part of the good news about mostly being mono white right now is we could pivot, and it's not like what do I have in this pack? Nothing that good, or remotely good, really. So I think we're probably taking Drivnod, and we may or may not end up playing it. We may end up going black-white, but if we don't, it's not a big deal, because we're not really giving up anything I actually want to play in this pack anyway. So we'll grab Drivnod. There's a Transplant Theorist, another Complete Devotion. Decent black cards here, but I'm probably just supposed to take the Theorist, or the Skull Bomb, for that matter. Yeah, I think we'll take the Theorist. Okay, so Veil of Assimilation. This is a card I've kind of gone back and forth on. If I have enough artifacts, it's good, but I'm not sure that we really are there. I mean, I guess we're approaching it. You know, it is still a tricky card. It can be awkward and horrible as a top deck, but it's pretty powerful in, you know, the right deck. It's very build-aroundy, not nearly as easy to make it work as I was hoping, but you can make it work. I do like the Evangelist, but we're probably not good enough at poisoning people. You know, we could take it and go in the Drivnod direction, but I don't think we're good enough at poisoning people to really want to do that. All right, so we're going to take the Jawbone Duelist. Yeah, it's not an artifact or anything. It doesn't care about any of that stuff, but it's just a really good creature. So, you know, that's why we're taking it. We don't have any of the super amazing artifact payoffs. That is one thing that's kind of a bummer. It'll be interesting to see when all is said and done whether I actually think blue-white is the best deck for us. But yeah. I don't want any of this. So, no matter what deck I'm in, I don't really want any of these cards. I guess Infectious Inquiry is probably the best one. Sure. We have a few black cards. Ooh, all right. Well, an Annex Sentry came around. That's a pick 7 Annex Sentry. I like it. I do like Flensing Raptor as well, but Annex Sentry is really good. Kind of a non-bow with our White Sun's Twilight, although I guess I can choose my Annex Sentry and then it doesn't go away. Yeah, white's very open. It's too bad the 4 white mana thing didn't show up. This would have been the time to play it. I guess I'll grab Gold Warden's Helm. Chrome Prowler. That's fine, I think. I don't really like anything else here. And same is true here. I guess I'll take a random black card in case I really think the Drivnod deck is the direction I want to go in. It's not like our blue cards are great. It was hard finding a second open color, but it did really seem like we're the only people playing white based on what we got past in white. So it was a weird draft. All right, we will grab a Sinew Dancer, and it might actually make the cut now. Maybe just being mono white and splashing Malcator and Bladehold Warwhip is what we're supposed to do. Like, our blue cards mostly aren't very good, you know? I think blue-black is the most fun color pair. It just doesn't come together very often. It wouldn't have in this draft either. I was regretting a little bit when we saw the blue-black signpost, but yeah. Yeah, the Vindicator would have been awesome. I did have it once in this format. I don't think on stream, unfortunately. And I think I only went like 4 and 3 or something. It was kind of a bummer. Okay. Oh yeah, I switched out my lands so I can use my fancy ones now. Interesting. So blue, like, it's not giving us anything that amazing, frankly, other than Malcator. The other blue cards we have are very replaceable. So, makes me really wonder if I'm just supposed to, like, play black so I can play Drivnod and a few other things. Or go red, but, you know, we don't have anything that good in red other than the Warwhip. So it feels more like Drivnod makes more sense. You know, he's not, like I said when I drafted him, he's not, like, amazing. And we don't even have that many cards that synergize with him, but he is a 5-mana 8/3 who can become indestructible when you have no mana up, and that is a thing. The one thing is, we have Veil of Assimilation, and a bunch of our blue cards are artifacts, and even though they're not amazing, they do up our artifact count enough that our artifact payoff cards are all better. So, we've got an interesting choice here. I sort of think maybe we're supposed to stay blue-white. Because this makes our artifact count really high. You know, we have even more than 12, really, because Basilica Shepherd makes artifacts. Indoctrination Attendant makes artifacts. And then Charge of the Mites does. Like, we have a bunch of cards that trigger the Veil. Enough that I think it's playable, going to be a good role player in this deck. So I think we end up going blue-white in the end. It's probably the best call. Like I said, if we got the Vindicator, I probably would have gone like almost mono-white and just splashed a couple of really strong cards like Malcator and the Whip. But given that our deck has synergy stuff going on, we probably want to stick with the deck that gives us the most artifacts. And, this isn't the best version of this deck. Those are when you get like 4 Justicers, but I think it seems solid enough. Okay. So, I don't love Gold Warden's Helm. I think we probably cut it. We're not doing anything with equipment, and we have plenty of artifacts. So, cutting 1 is not a big deal. How good are we at poisoning people is the next question. And the answer to that is, like, not that good. We're mostly reliant on mites to get it done. And that means in the early game, and even by the mid game, we aren't that likely to have Sinew Dancer active. So I'd probably go to 1, and I may just cut the other one too. They're kind of acceptable just as the base card, but if you can't tap stuff with them, like for 1 white mana consistently, they are significantly worse. I do like that our Theorist is going to get us deeper, closer to our big bomb and stuff. So yeah, we'd probably cut the Dancer. So yeah, this is, the Justiciar is a way better artifact payoff, but this can do some surprising stuff on some boards where your opponent just can't set up good blocks. We can probably cut an island. It's not like we're desperate for them, and we are more desperate for planes. Yeah, I think this looks like our deck to me. It was a weird draft. White was very open, and we saw like random powerful cards in other colors, but never really like a consistent diet of them. Oh, it looks like we've dropped, a bunch of people right now are jockeying to get to the top of Mythic before the season ends in like 45 minutes. And we've dropped into the percentages in that time. I was at like 1280 or something. So we'll have to win. I think we would have to win something like 5 games in the next 45 minutes to have a shot at actually getting into the top 250, which is pretty unlikely. It's not impossible, but it's pretty unlikely. Not the greatest hand, but we do have our biggest bomb and a 2-drop and, some other stuff. Yeah, I like these lands. I don't often see people using them. I'm not really someone who pays that much attention to the, I don't have a pet or anything. I don't bother, but I do like these lands. They're from Jumpstart or something. So Flamestoker can be pretty scary, especially if they have other ways to put counters on it, and they probably do. Yeah, Hex Gold Slash, sure. Not that I could do something about it, but drawing our tricks isn't something I love right now. Because we don't have any creatures. We may make 2 mites at the end of their turn, and then hope that we can get them to block and use Complete Devotion, but I don't know how likely. I might be worried about Chrome Cat here, which we do have a couple, but unfortunately neither of them are in our hand. Yeah. I mean, Charge of the Mites is not going to do something anytime soon, and I at least need to pressure our opponent some in the sense that kind of make the game go longer because they're worried about me attacking. And I can't do that if I don't have a board state of some sort, It is a little dangerous to try to use Complete Devotion because they have mana up for a trick, but it's also pretty tempting. They have mana up for removal in response, is what I mean to say. They might just take it. No, they did not. Let's try this. I have a feeling it's not going to go well. If it's Hex Gold Slash, we can cast a second Complete Devotion. Yeah. And I guess that's what we'll do. We get to draw 2, kill their steward. That works for me, I think. Oh, wait. It does 4. Because it's a toxic creature. So it would still only have 3 and then die. Yeah, so that's a bad idea. I would still draw the card, but it probably makes more sense to use it here. Okay, we did draw something. Luckily, they're not having the fastest start. I don't love this Vindictive Flamestoker being over there, but other than that, I haven't been super concerned. I don't really want to set myself back a mana, weirdly enough, because with White Sun's Twilight in my hand, it seems like a bad idea, but I guess there's a good chance that I find a way to just keep the game going. I could play the Lookout and return it and then play it again next turn. It's not like it's amazing right now. Maybe that's just better. It probably is. They're gonna kill something maybe in response, yeah. So now I have to return a land. Which I don't think is the worst thing in the world, I guess. I mean, I could return, just bounce this or not return anything. Bouncing this would effectively replace it, which doesn't do us any good. It's probably better to just play it as a 3/4 and live with it. Let's hope they're out of Hex Gold Slashes, though, huh? Those are super good against Indoctrination Attendants and every other 4 toughness kind of expensive thing. That is a little bit of a problem, since we're not exactly pressuring them. Okay. Yeah, Plague Nurse especially is bad, because it can't, like, do anything. So, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's get in there with Indoctrination Attendant, and then leave mana up for Chrome Prowler. Okay. Probably means there's a trick. So it probably doesn't really matter what I try to kill here. They're probably going to do +2/+2. I guess if it's +2/+2 and oil counters, I'd rather them have to use it on this than on that. Yeah. So let's do that. Because putting oil counters on this makes it pretty absurd. I guess they still get one, so I probably should have just lived with it. I kind of want them to crack this and then play a bunch of stuff. That's kind of what we need to happen. So that when we cast White Sun's Twilight, we can really reshape the board. They are drawing a lot of cards. I don't think I'm at a spot. I mean, we don't have the mana yet anyway. And I get to rebuild my own board after any as well, so I may as well just play stuff out. Try to get them to crack their card advantage, although, like I said, they're going to have this in play, which isn't great news. And they're still at 20, so I'm not loving those things. Alright, we do have the mana now. They don't have mana up to sack this, so it's probably just time to blow up the whole board. So that means might as well attack with everything. You know, I think during the draft I said I could, like, choose my own thing to keep, and I was thinking of the Wanderer's ability, not this. Would be kind of cool to hold on to Incisor Glider, but, you know, what are you going to do? Okay. So they have a way to draw. Next turn, they'll have a way to draw. Oh, no, they're still 2 turns away from drawing extra cards. That's good news for us. Nice. It all worked out. Yeah, I was glad they didn't have the mana up to sack that thing. As soon as that happened, it was like, oh, okay. I sort of thought they were going to leave it up because they were suspicious, but they weren't suspicious enough. Yeah, that win didn't even really raise our rank that much either, so... it has to be like 5 wins, and it has to be against people ranked higher than me, probably. Silence. Usually you don't find yourself waiting so long during the last few minutes of a season. But here we are. Yeah, if you get in top 250, you qualify for... I'm trying to remember what it's called. The qualifier, I think, is honestly what it's called, which is a horrible name. But yeah, you qualify for the qualifier. If you win the qualifier, you play in the arena championship. So that's what it is. It's not, you know, I've made it 3 or 4 times. This is a great hand. This is a little awkward, like I said. You know, during the draft, I was like, but I can choose to keep it. But that's actually not how it works. So it is a bit of a non-bow with Annex Sentry. But... you know, maybe we'll hit a token or something. Or, you know, just play a normal game here and not have to cast White Sun's Twilight. You know, we don't have to use it. Like, if we're way ahead or whatever and we don't want to use it, we can just use it at 4 to make a bunch of bodies. Let's see if this gets Hex Gold slashed in the face. It does not. So, I'm probably supposed to cast Annex Sentry here. Yeah. If they have Hex Gold Slash, they're going to use it now. I remember early in the format, I was taking Hex Gold Slashes over Volt Charges, and people thought I was crazy. And I was like, you know, maybe I am crazy. But the way this format has panned out, I don't think I was. Interesting. So, I guess we're just going to attack with both. We will have, whatchamacallit active, Corrupted. And then I think we'll bounce a land with Attendant. It's too bad I don't have my trick right now. Ooh, they might have Hex Gold Slash here, I guess. No? That would have been pretty gross. And would have put us on a path to White Sun's Twilight. Oh, they do have that, which is annoying. Too bad it's not the old Magic rules and I can't flash this in so it doesn't do combat damage. That's alright, we'll be okay. It does get them closer to producing mana with that, which is less than ideal, but... They are ranked higher than me, so if we could win, we'd probably gain 100 or so, but yeah, running out of time quickly here. I guess if we get to a point where what we really want to do is play White Sun's Twilight, I could just start attacking like a crazy person with Annex Sentry. This is not alchemy, no. So it can get its other counter right now, which is annoying. I think we attack with Indoctrination Attendant and pass, probably. I think there's a good chance they trade. That's fine. I think we'll play out the Justiciar as well. It does have a funny combo with White Sun's Twilight. Even if we pay 4 or whatever for it, we can turn it into a 6/5 lifelink. We don't really care about our graveyard, right? Right. Oh boy, that is pretty scary. Yeah, I think we're probably headed towards a White Sun's Twilight plan at some point here. I don't want to throw my Annex Sentry in there just yet, though. I think we will pass. Hold up Chrome Prowler and use it to splash the Sky Warden this turn. If they attack with both, I can actually tap this and block the Scrap Gorger to kill it, which is cool. But I think just tapping the Resistant Sky Warden is probably fine. Bye-bye, Annex Sentry. Yeah, they did it themselves eventually. I had a feeling. Yes, play out your hand. So, this turn's probably gonna hurt, but... assuming they, like, draw a thing and play it and we White Sun's Twilight again, we're probably just gonna win the way the game is played out. I think we probably don't attack. I think that would be far more suspicious. It's already maybe a little suspicious, but it would be really suspicious if we attacked. If they don't play out the card in their hand, I'm going to be a little sad, but it looks like they're going to. But it might be removal that leads to us taking a massive hit here. Good news is we gain life with White Sun's Twilight. So... ooh. Well, we're not gonna die, but it's gonna hurt. Alright. Well, I think we're gonna be okay, though. Maybe we'll just get White Sun's Twilight and cast it every game. That'd be cool. I haven't had that kind of luck with a bomb in a while. I've been frustrated by White Sun's Twilight many a time. But I haven't been on the end where I'm just, like, casting it every game. fact that they didn't just scoop is interesting. Well, the fact that they didn't just scoop and haven't played whatever they drew is interesting. The fact that they didn't scoop isn't necessarily. Like, this isn't an unwinnable position, especially if they have another Hazardous Blast in their deck. Yeah, that's pretty good, but I think we have enough bodies that we just throw them all at them. Again, sad we don't have our trick here. And then I think Basilica Shepherd's better because it means they have to draw. Yeah, they need a lot to not be dead to poison next turn. So, yeah. I guess they were basically considering, should I just scoop or should I play this Mantis and see if I draw what I need? It is probably the best Twilight. The fact it costs 7 to do its thing definitely matters. But, you know, once you get there, it's pretty unbeatable. I think I would say in terms of bombs that the Eternal Wanderer is still better because not only does she make almost any game winnable for 1 less mana because she costs 6, she's also way better if you're at parity or ahead, whereas that card's very awkward in those situations. But it was on my bomb list, I think. We've had it like every game. All right. We have quite the curve out, too. Casting White Sun's Twilight for like 4 with Malcator in play, also a pretty powerful option. Do I want to play Malcator or Chrome Prowler to tap the Synthesizer and hit them for 2 and poison them? I think I like adding to the board and hitting them this turn if I can. So they've got a blue-black deck. Might be like a legit proliferate deck like I keep hoping to do on stream and not doing. We have like 1 card with Corrupted. The Incisor Glider. Malcator. Or my only Gataxian Raptor. My own Gataxian Raptor. I can kind of attack with Chrome Prowler here, honestly, because... No, I can't. Never mind. I mean, I guess I get to kill the Ichor Synthesizer at worst. Or the Raptor. But it's not a great attack. So... I think I'll go with Malcator here. I have played blue-black, just not on stream so far. But only like twice, and only when I opened like everything. That's true. With mana up, maybe I should have just gone for it. We don't have any multicolored cards. Oh, wait. We already played one. Okay. Should I continue to build out the board? Or... Yeah, maybe... Because I know that I have White Sun's Twilight as an escape, if things go sideways, I may just start attacking them. Although, we don't want to go so low on life that we don't get to White Sun's Twilight, but... I think attacking with our Golem is fine. And we're fine with the trade. Yeah, let's play out our Raptor. I mean, that's a great thing about White Sun's Twilight. Unlike most Wraths, it's not like you have to sandbag things. Like, you can just play out the game, and if things go your way, just keep doing what you're doing. And if things go sideways, you can reset things in a big way. Alright, so something's going to be a 4/4. Yeah, that's pretty spicy. Retrofitter is pretty great, and one of the few cards that can pull you into blue. So they're going to make... Interesting. Wonder if I'm supposed to trade with this thing. Or try to. I mean, they might have a trick, but I think we want them to unload such things if they have them. So I think I'm going to block. Okay. I guess I'll attack with Chrome Prowler here and pass. Use your indestructibility trick if you have it. And we'll end our turn. Probably play another Chrome Prowler at the end of their turn. I guess I'm just going to play it now, actually. So that Gataxian Raptor doesn't attack us. Oh, no! That completely undoes everything. Okay, well now we have to play the game normal, and I don't like our chances. I don't like our chances. Playing the Chrome Prowler, man. Should have held on to it. Should have held on. I think we're probably just going to take 5 here. Okay, there's the land we needed. Attack with our Chrome Prowler. Hold on to this land for fun. We're going to take another 5. We don't have a whole lot of cards that can get us out of this, and they're definitely not islands. Not really a point in attacking anymore. They know we don't have anything. I mean, our 3/3 flyer would be pretty good. It would allow us to attack with the Justicure and get stuff going, but I may just have to double block this thing at this point. Yeah, let's give that a try. Let's see if they blow us out. I think there is a significant chance they do, and they do. Guess I'm gonna attack here to gain the life. See if they trade. We do have, like, 2 tricks in our deck. And they would have been pretty spicy to show up at some point, but what are you gonna do? Getting back up to 13's not bad. We will take 5. Okay. This is where it can be a pretty bad draw, but gaining a bunch of life is pretty good here. And if we can draw this and then draw things that make multiple mites, you know, we'll be pretty happy. Aw, man. Chrome Prowled. Well, Malcator, I think it's time for you to give yourself up. Ooh, boy. Does that mean we're dead? It's gonna be close. I think it means we're dead. Yeah. Unless they're afraid of a card in my hand or something, they're dead. Their deck was pretty much just blue-black control. Worked pretty well. I mean, obviously... Had we, Alright, I'm not gonna make them go through all the motions. And worry about us having removal. Grimnark is a fine card, actually, in this format. I mean, I play one in a decent number of decks, in black-white and stuff. But, yeah, that was one of the better situations for the Grimnark. Well, the fact it gains you life if you can't make your opponent discard definitely matters. Alright, this looks fine. No Zenith, but, you know. God, that last game, if we hadn't played our Chrome Prowler and just held on, we would have been way better off. I'm gonna go with Incisor Glider. Really wish they made this a 2-2. Like, it would have been so much better if they had, obviously. So... I feel like I'm more worried about the Convert, given what our opponent's deck looks like. It looks like they're a multicolor deck, which, you know, there's enough fixing in the format that you can do it. You have to get it, and you have to have reasons to do it, but it's a thing. And Mere Convert and Thirsting Roots definitely help there. Alright, yeah, so let's play Annex Sentry, hit the Convert. I don't need them having every color of mana or whatever they're trying to do over there. So once we get to 5... after we play Malcator, we could Escaped Experiment and Charge of the Mites for... Yeah, we're not blocking that. For another Golem. Well, there goes Annex Sentry. So I could kill the Convert with Charge of the Mites now, if I really wanted to. But I think I'm just going to play Malcator. Yeah, we will be killing that with Charge of the Mites. Hopefully they don't have a trick, though, because they could have mana for one. They may be about to fight or something, though. Looks that way. Yep. So we take 3. So it's interesting here. I could play the Experiment and then make 2/2/1/1s to make a 3/3 as well. But I think it's probably better to just kill the Mantis than crank out another 3/3. So that's what we're going to do, especially when they're tapped out. Oh, I do have to play the Experiment first for that to go the right way. Gross. Play Blazing Crescendo and hit a Vorak. That feels pretty good, I think. We're going to need to draw well, or we're going to be in trouble. Alright, that's not bad. Yep, I do have 7 lands. Unfortunately, I don't have a creature with Toxic right now to draw a card with. It's kind of a bummer. Also don't love the idea of holding this up to use on blocks, but we are at least at a point here where our opponent is in top deck mode, so I think it probably is what we're going to do. Let's try to wait the game out and find our bomb. So they could have drawn a lot of things. Let's just hope they didn't draw one of those things, and hope Complete Devotion works out okay here. There's a Chrome Prowler. Okay. I can actually start attacking. Might as well, right? So attack with Experiment and Glider. Maybe even Malcator? No, it's not worth attacking with Malcator, really. Let's see if they're too scared to block. I was kind of hoping they would be, but, you know. Yeah, we'll end our turn. We will Chrome Prowler. Hopefully they bricked on their draw. Looks like they did. Ooh, and we drew something good. Now we can swing out, funnily enough. Gonna need something awesome. Look, we won without our bomb. They never really... I don't think they ever really drew what they were playing all those colors for. Which I think is a good thing, obviously. It's a good thing for us. That was a different opponent, wasn't it? They were only playing 3 colors and probably only a splash. I was thinking of the person who was playing 4, but they beat us. Yeah, they did brick on a couple of critical draws, which is kind of what we needed. And we drew pretty well. But if you've been watching the stream or the draft videos, you know that I brick too, so. I guess this will be our last game before they reset rankings, so I don't think we're going to get there in the top 250, but seems unlikely. And that may also be why it's taking a while for matchmaking, because people have given up. But you'd think there'd be a bunch of people who are in the 260s or something playing right now. Okay, well. I don't know. Once you're at Mythic, you find yourself matched up a lot against the top people, regardless of how low in Mythic you are. All right. I like it. We haven't played our ossification yet. Exuberant Fuseling. So, we do have the opportunity to, like, bounce Malcor and play it again, which we haven't done yet. I was gonna say, I might be willing to trade here. There's a chance they have the 1 red mana trick. But I think we'll make them use it. They could have sacked this to do 1 to us. That's a thing. So yeah, I think we play Malcator here so that if we play Indoctrination Attendant next turn, we can bounce it. Yep, they did miss 1 damage. If we win this thing by 1 damage, we'll know why. Oh. Drawing a land would be sweet just because pulling off that bounce would be cool. And, you know, most of the time if you're playing against Malcator, you're not really that worried about him. Like, he's already done the thing he's going to do, you know, when he made a 3/3. But we can actually get some more value out of it. I probably attack with both here and just use Complete Devotion if they block. Don't imagine... Oh, no, they do block. Ooh. It's too bad Ossification doesn't actually leave this in play. If it did, it would be pretty awesome here. So unfortunately, this is a big enough threat, and it can do enough damage quickly enough that I don't really think it's wise for me to try to use Indoctrination Attendant here and take our time. I think we just ossify it now. And attack for 4, which feels, you know, pretty good. Okay. I'm finally going to get to do the thing, I think. Unless they kill our Malcator before it hits them. If they have removal anyway, they'll bounce Malcator before I can do anything. Yeah. So, not bounce, but kill. And they would have, so... That's fine. Let's not accidentally return the wrong land, huh? Yeah, if you pacify an Archfiend, it's pretty ugly. Alright. They do have a lot of removal, don't they? I'm gonna do this again. It is pretty sad they kept us from doing the Malcator value train, but Still, we're obviously in pretty great shape, so I think we'll be okay. Especially if we draw land and can just, you know, keep throwing pests or mites out there. I always say infect, and I always say pests with this set instead of toxic and mites. Yeah, that is big. And it does have reach. I mean, I think for now, we just play Basilica Shepherd and pass. And eventually we'll use Chrome Prowler, obviously. Maybe this next turn, even, depending on how things go down. Looks like they're going to kill my Shepherd, which makes it a little less appealing. Ooh, double Chrome Prowler. Well, that's going to set up nicely. I do think we play out Basilica Shepherd again, although I guess we can just poison them out, can't we? You know? Let's do that. Let's try that. Because we win faster, obviously. Well, I guess they're going to die to damage before they get poisoned out, most likely. Looks like something's dying. They have 2 blockers, huh? That's actually enough for them not to die, right? Yes. So, change of plan. Wait. I tap 1. Attack with everything. Yeah, they die to yeah, okay. So I should just do this now, because these all attack. They can block one thing. If they block this, they die to poison, and if they block one of these, they die to damage. So, yeah. Took me a second to get there. It says 100%, which usually means things reset. No? Guess not. Somehow, even though I won, I dropped. That can't happen, because somebody else, a bunch of other people won at the same time. Am I wrong about when it's resetting? I guess after I win this game, or whatever happens in this game, maybe it'll reset. It doesn't matter, really. I mean, we didn't get there. So, and we'll get our rewards for being Mythic whenever. So it ends in less than a minute, okay. I guess they're a little late for some reason, because it's a random time to end at 2:05 p.m. Yeah, I don't like seeing a turn 1 Crawling Chorus very much. Lines up quite well against us. Do they play the 2-mana 1/1 with Toxic now? No, but they do play a Jawbone Duelist. God. Not feeling great about this. Maybe I'm greedy, but I think I would have just attacked and held on to that thing. But I also know that I'm not blocking. So, is it better to play our Raptor or our Prowler? The Prowler could tap this and then make them at least use a trick. I think that seems okay. Buys us a little more time, perhaps. I love that I'm already at 5 poison, by the way. Yep, that's very good that we killed that. Ugh, this is where Veil of Assimilation doesn't look too good. The good news about blocking with the Raptor is even if they have a trick, we kill the chorus somehow, even though they're going to get a 1-1 out of it. They may not attack us, though, yeah. The Raptor is a surprisingly effective wall. So, I probably need to kill Jawbone Duelist here. Or we're going to get poisoned like crazy. They only have 1 white up, so... we know it'll work. I wonder if I should have just hit them for more damage there, but... if they attack, it means they have a trick, but... it's kind of a situation where it doesn't matter. Like, I sort of need to block. Okay. Nice. I mean, yeah, it's probably better to play it now, just for the additional damage and the vigilance. I think we need to hold on to the counters just so this can block effectively many things. And yeah, they missed a bunch of land drops, which was good news for us. That is not. If we can keep drawing artifacts, we'll be in decent shape, especially if they're creatures. Yeah, Complete Devotion, not really amazing here. Okay. Let's try not to get poisoned out here. Gross. We need to draw our bomb, pretty much, or we will get poisoned out. Another body helps a bit. Get in for a little more vigilance damage in the meantime. I think we're dead. No, I guess we go to 9 poison. Although if we block Blight Belly Rat as one of the rats, one of the things we block, we go to 10. So yeah, it's not good. So we're gonna block here. We have to take the rat, and then the rat dying is also enough to kill us, which is a great combination. Yeah, because that puts us at 9. I mean, we have to hope... I don't know what we have to hope for, because even if we draw our bomb now, this will die and proliferate. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I guess ossification would be okay, but we'd need it and our bomb to work. So, oh, or they'll kill us with Infectious Inquiry. Yep, that'll do it. Weird. I probably do have to reset for it to actually display. There it is. There it is. Oh, those are cool ones to get, I guess. Card styles. Yeah, it looks pretty solid. Guess I'm gonna get a plains. I haven't done like the format as it stands now, archetype ranking yet. I think that'll be this Saturday's Needs and Notes though. I think we'll play the Duelist. It is sort of tempting to play the Justisher because we can set up a bunch of artifact stuff, but this blocks better, it attacks better for the most part too, so. There is a Charforger. Play a Raptor now. Okay. So I think we probably ossify Charforger. Play the Justisher. Attack them with Raptor. Yeah. Ooh, I can actually attack reasonably well after I ossify it with the Duelist. Not, like, amazingly well. Because they can just block with the Scamp and the token, I guess. Yeah, it's better. It's a better blocker right now, really. Even though blocking's not awesome in this format sometimes. I do think we still attack with the Raptor and play the Justisher, though. Ooh, okay. We're a ways away from being able to kill that. We can sort of race it. Sort of. Chrome Prowler helps, of course. Yeah. I guess we're closer than I think to having enough to combat the Furnace Strider. Yeah, so let's play Escaped Experiment here. Wait, how much mana do we have? We only have 4, huh? I was thinking I had 5. But I do not. Okay, so in that case, it's probably not even really worth attacking. I think we just pass. We'll play Chrome Prowler so Furnace Strider can't attack us this turn. Hopefully they don't have another thing with haste. That would be bad. Well, they can give that haste, which I don't love, but I can actually block it reasonably well right now. So if we draw a land this next turn, we can play Escaped Experiment and then kill the Furnace Strider, at which point I think we'll be in much better shape. But we do need to draw a land. Interesting they chose not to give the Cackler haste. Okay, that makes sense. That means our Charge of the Mites is going to be even less effective. Especially if I'm considering blocking here. I don't think I do, though. We did draw it, but it's no longer enough. So, let's play the Experiment. Do I play another Experiment? I mean, it's a pretty good attack. I gain back life. I probably do. The bad thing is, I don't really... Ooh. I kind of didn't think they were going to block, but they're going to. No, they're not. Okay, good. They do one. But the bad thing is I kind of have to block, so Charge of the Mites isn't really going to work either. Well, I guess I can take the 8 from these two and then block the other stuff and keep my stuff alive. Or maybe they'll just attack with Testament Bearer, in which case, yeah, we definitely just take it. Gross. They keep ruining our life. This is the down, you know. Charge of the Mites is neither great at making tokens nor a great removal spell. And this is why. Because if the thing you're trying to kill has high enough toughness and your opponent can keep setting you back on board, it's not good. We'll probably draw a White Sun Zenith now. Oh, we drew a Chrome Prowler. I can... That's acceptable. That is acceptable. I guess I'm going to tap Testament Bearer. It's a more obnoxious attacker right now, frankly, because of its ability to get them a bunch of cards. Though it is kind of easier for me to take, I guess. But I think we play Chrome Prowler. Yeah, I'm still going to tap Furnace Strider. I'm not really planning on blocking, but... you know. Normally I would, but with Charge of the Mites as our plan for dealing with the Furnace Strider, we kind of can't. Okay. Well, let's find out if they can just destroy us after we cast Charge of the Mites. Oh! I clicked on the wrong thing. After all of that. Oh, God. Okay. Well, I think we lose now. We'll be blocking like crazy now because we can win if we draw our Board Sweeper, I guess. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to block now. But I think it's chump blocking that we want to be doing. So yeah, we need to draw, like, things to make, like, Malcator would be pretty good. Oh, gross. I guess it can only kill a pest. It could be worse. It's so sad when you're, like, thinking and strategizing around an entire card for that long and then you click the wrong option. I clicked too fast, basically. Alright, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. In terms of making the game... Yeah, that is one thing that doesn't happen in paper. Because it can't. I mean, you can make mistakes, but not that particular one. I guess you could somehow say the wrong one, but yeah. Alright, so Annex Sentry. I guess we'll hit the Cackler. And I guess we're going to play this land, which does reveal how vulnerable we are, but if I have any chance at all, I'm going to need to, like, draw the mana, play it, and play our whatchamacallit on curve, basically. So. Yeah, so we have to draw it next turn. And, unfortunately, because of the Annex Sentry, they're going to get back a Cackler, but, you know, whatever. Gotta do what we gotta do. We're going to gain enough life. Okay, well, now at least we're not going to get it back. They're not going to get it back if we top deck it here. Are we dead, though? We only have 2 blockers now. Oh, yeah, we're dead now. Yeah, we would block with the Annex Sentry. That's true. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we could have even won, even if I clicked the right option on our on our card. So would have been in better shape because there wouldn't have been a 4-5. I mean, I guess given how they drew, it would have made it ended up making a big difference. Yeah, that was bad. These things happen. They do happen. Yeah, I chumped it twice, and it's like what won them the game on that turn when they won the game. So, yep. Yep.